Listen, you may not know this guy's name, especially in the linebacker sphere, but as far as linebacker film goes in the 2025 NFL draft, this guy is at the top and in some cases the number one. We have to talk about Carson Schwesinger, the magnificent, phenomenal linebacker from UCLA. This kid, smartness mixed with instinct, mixed with just suddenness, is jumps off the film and is something that we really need to pay attention to going into the draft. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video. I'm your host, Loose Takes. Make sure to like and subscribe the video. But in this video, we must talk about Carson Schwesinger, a player that may not have the testing measurables, that may not have the physical traits, the physical measurables as other linebackers in this draft. But when it comes to film, his film matches up to none. Like, it literally is up there as one of the best we've ever seen on film. But let's start with his background. Schwesinger comes from Lincoln, Nebraska. He was a standout at Lincoln East High School. He was a multi-sport athlete. I'm gonna say it again, a multi-sport athlete in football and wrestling. Key, known for his toughness and leadership. He earned attention, but he was a under the radar recruit. So he ended up climbing the depth charts. He's a guy that if you get him in the room, he's going to work his ass off, and he may not have the accolades, but guess what? He's going to be at the next level every time. He may not just jump off the screen, but he will work his ass off. He came in at UCLA as a walk-on, and from there he earned a scholarship. That story alone, just seeing that in a few words, has earned my ultimate respect. He started out his early year at UCLA as a special teams guy, climbing his way up the depth chart, but still making an impact even in some of the most under thought out positions when it comes to special teams. But this shows me his value that he can add to a team, and that is not just on offense and defense. He worked his way as a linebacker, earning some starts in 2021, but even more starts in 2022. Okay, he was a green dot guy at the time. That shows his smartness, getting everybody aligned, making sure they're in the proper positions and having the proper coverage, communication to the defense. That right there shows me the workload that he can handle, and it just is very intriguing for a defensive coordinator at the next level in the NFL. Coaches praised him for his high tackle usage and how he was able to rake up so many tackles, and also how he was able to make key stops on third down, the money down. He just embodies a team captain and a team leader on and off the field. Now let's start with some of his strengths as a player. You talking about a smart individual, somebody who has instincts, who can see it, a diagnoser. Don't look further than Carson Schwesinger, because when it comes to seeking out a run play, reading keys, reading the guards, reading the tackles, reading the feet of the guards, which way they're going, are they blocking down, are they pulling around, it seems like he sees it a lot faster than everyone else on the field, and he's always moving at a great position when it comes to that. It shows me that this guy, you can tell he's a high film guy, especially with his story, the combination of him being always overlooked, under the radar, or just a walk-on guy. This is a guy who loves football, who's going to put in the extra effort, and he understands the key of beating your man to the spot. So you can see that when it comes to just diagnosing and scraping over the top, especially in zones, especially with offensive linemen, he may not have the physical stature to take on blocks, but when he sees it early, a lot of times the offensive linemen don't have a chance to even climb to the next level to see him. He also is a great tackler. I did mention that his background is in wrestling, and you got to pay attention to that, because some of these guys, when they do that, they understand leverage, they understand just a tackle and form and how to get guys and to take down guys onto the turf. And you can see that in how formidable his tackling is. I trust him versus almost any size, even bigger running backs. Him one-on-one with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry may be falling forward, but I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, Carson Schwesinger will get him down because he just understands the form and what it takes to bring down a guy like that. And there's also, you can translate this into, having some durability when it comes to injuries. A lot of guys on defense, have injuries because they don't know how to tackle correctly. You will be surprised how such a fundamental skill gets overlooked like that. But this guy is a sure tackler, even in any open field with faster guys. If he sees it and he's in route and he's shoot out like a missile, he's going to get you down and bring you down to the ground. You can especially see this when he's blitzing on quarterbacks. No quarterback is getting away from this guy because this guy understands, like I said, leverage, he just understands takedowns, especially as a former wrestler, because that really do come into a play. Also, he's a field general. He's a communicator. Like I say, he pay attention. He gets everyone lined up. You're gonna have somebody who can just translate what you're trying to do as a defense, and especially translating to setting guys up on a defensive line, having safety set up correctly. This is a guy who's gonna get it really in that playbook, and actually just being able to get in the classroom and bring the classroom to the field. Football is 90% mental, 10% physical. If you can see it, you can make the play. He's also excellent in coverage. This man's coverage ability, you'll be surprised like how he's able to get in his drops, cover a hook to flats. He understands route combinations and what they're trying to attack when it's middle of the field. I've seen sometimes he's in a Tampa 2, he'll carry some of these routes all the way deep to safety level, and he's just with the guy and his speed. Like I said, when he's able to diagnose it, he's always in position, and this also counts in his back pedal as well. And lastly, like at the floor, he's going to bring special teams value on kickoff, punt, etc. This guy has that because this is part of who he is and what he had to do to earn his right to even be considered as one of the top linebackers, even mentioned in the NFL draft. This guy played special teams, did what he had to do, and in turn, he just added that to the resume. Now this is a translatable skill that he can have and earn at the next level and impress some of these D coordinators when they take him on the field. Now let's go to some of the keys or improvement. Some of that is the physical profile, but honestly, he made up some of that when he came in for the the weigh-in at the pro day or the combine. On film, he looks a lot skinnier, not like a typical linebacker. And the way the waves of the NFL is going to, more teams are going to run a ball, they're going to go at him. So more pro level offensive linemen and going to get hands on him. So I do question, can he take on the blocks head up, because it's all about angles in the NFL. Also, his block shedding ability, you've seen a lot on times on film when he's able to make the plays when he sees it earlier than what the offensive lineman is trying to do. So when the lineman is trying to climb up to the next level, he's already pursuing over the top and not letting the offensive lineman get hands on him. So my question is, what happens when the offensive lineman does get hands on you? Because you're going to need a counter, because we're going to the pro level. Everyone has a PhD in football. Everyone is athletic. Everyone is freaks of nature. Can you survive and adapt and get better with that? And also, how does he do versus the more agile running backs? I feel like he can run sideline to sideline, but his change of direction and his suddenness, he needs to work on that. Just the footwork in general. Sometimes I see a little bit of wasted movement. So how is he going to handle the freakishly athletic guys? Because we don't want to turn this into a tendency, because as we know in the NFL, when it becomes a tendency, they're going to rep it to death until you get it right. So this is going to be a weakness that he has to overcome at the next level in order to make it, in order to be the guy I think he can be. Overall, I see this guy really going pretty much as a mid, day 2 in the second round. But I hope my Cowboys are really watching this video and actually consider him at 44. I feel like he will be a home run of a pick in any, defense he's in. He has a blank canvas, and I think he has the tools that a defensive coordinator can build up on. If he can get in some programs to get bigger, get faster, get twitchier, he can be one of those, those linebackers to really watch out for the years to come, because the film we saw on film, when he sees it in diagnosis, he can really take over a game by himself, and actually the entire team is going to feed off him, because like I said, he's a field general. He's smart. He's going to make sure everyone's lined up. This is the green dot guy that I think you should really, really, really pay attention to in years to come, and that is Carson Schwesinger out of UCLA. Man, make sure Make sure to like and subscribe the video. Comment down below your thoughts on Carson Schwesinger, man. But I really do like this kid, man. We do this for the first, blame it last. Congratulations. Shout out to Carson Schwesinger. I can't wait to follow his career. Hopefully he's a Dallas Cowboy, you know, about a draft. But until next time, peace.